Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Remember to Live podcast. Today, my guest is Gail Walker, and I'm so excited for y'all to get to know her a little bit better. Gail is an inspiring keynote speaker, a decluttering expert, and life doula who helps mothers reimagine what support looks like, how to manage their households, and find peace. Oh, I wish I had met you like 20 years ago when my kids were young.
I
But
hear that a lot. I get that a
know,
lot.
thank you so much for coming to the show. I always like to take a moment just so we can get present and settle and be here and nowhere else. So let's take a breath. Especially as busy women and busy mothers, we don't always give ourselves a chance to just be where we are, right?
Yes.
And so I want to give us that moment as often as possible.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, to get us kicked off today, the question I want to start with is, what moment in your life made you realize the importance of living more fully in the present?
I would say the one moment that was a big pivot point in my life was when I made the decision to retire from the Navy. And I woke up one morning and I knew it was time. And I'd been struggling with the decision for actually years. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I woke up one morning, I'd been focused on my rest, I'd stopped drinking, I decided to eat better and exercise. So I was in a really good place. And I woke up and I'm like, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
And I was so present in my body. I was so present in my mind. And even though things were crazy at work, I had so much clarity in that moment. And I would say it's that moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a big life moment anyway, right? Like I know I have a few friends who've had military careers, and it's a certain type of lifestyle that not all of us experience, right? And from my understanding, because I haven't had a military career, right? It's by default filled with a lot of structure and kind of knowing what you need to do next and kind of structure in your days in a certain way, which can be a really good thing for people. But also, sometimes when you're in that level of structure, there's not enough flexibility to pause and think about, like, where am I really right now? Like, what do I need right now? Like, what is the life that I want right now as we grow and evolve?
For sure. For sure. And it's making me think about some other very telling moments after getting out of the military, realizing that all of that structure created some layers between who I was in that moment and who I really was internally. And so, yes, that structure is really good in terms of, we all dress alike, we're one sound, we march on the same step, we're together as a team. But I feel like if you're not careful, you lose some of that individuality.
Yeah.
When you serve 100% and give your life to an organization like the military.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes that happens in corporate careers as well, right? When we work for the same company for many years and you kind of get in that habit of, this is what my day-to-day looks like, and you don't really kind of give yourself an opportunity or a chance to reimagine. And so you went from a very structured, very specific type of career to now, being this life doula and this organizational expert and doing things that might not seem like the logical next step. So share a little bit with us on, how did you go from having this military career to all of the amazing things that you're doing now?
Yeah, so I'm laughing because I'm very unstructured right now, living as an entrepreneur. So I'm like, whoo, I'm appreciating the structure of the military right now in my entrepreneur life. Um, but I feel like you do, if you're not careful, you lose some of that individuality. And so, yes, that structure is really good in terms of, if you're not careful, you lose some of that individuality. And so, yes, I'm appreciating the structure of the military right now in my entrepreneur life. But I have to say, it is all divine. Like I am living a very inspired experience. And I was just thinking today, I'm like, okay, God is serving as my agent right now, um, and leading and directing me. Because I did not leave the Navy with the goal of being a nanny. That
Mm.
was not, what do the young people say? That was not on my bingo card. That was
Right,
not,
right.
it was not in my sights. It was not on my bingo card. I mean, it was not the plan. And so, how I transitioned from the military into this encore career, um, it evolved. And it evolved out of service to a friend who had a young baby
Mm.
and who was a senior executive with a young baby, and she needed help. And I graciously agreed. I shouldn't say graciously, I'm not being honest. I reluctantly,
There you go. Let's keep it
I'm
real.
yeah, let me be honest. I
Yeah.
reluctantly went to help her, but I loved her so much that I decided and agreed to help her, and it
Hmm.
changed my life.
Mm.
Caring for her baby literally changed my life. And that was the beginning of what became Life Doula,
Mm.
serving moms, serving families, and taking care of people in their homes. From that experience with my friend, I came back to the US because at the time she was in Spain. I came back to the US and I'm like, okay, I really enjoyed that. I'd love to do more.
Mm.
And began seeking out opportunities to serve and realized some of the work that I'd been doing was very similar to how postpartum doulas support families in the first three
Mm.
months
Hmm.
after they bring baby home. But I was doing it long beyond 3 months.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. My clients loved it. And literally, I was like, something is happening. Something is happening to me. Something's happening for my clients. And this inspired work became Life Doula.
That's amazing. I mean, and we talk about pivots a lot, but that doesn't seem like a pivot a lot of people would even consider, right? Going through this whole career and then kind of falling into being a nanny. That's a really big change. But when we lean into some of these unexpected opportunities in life and stay open to trying new things, we can find these pivots that might just be that stepping stone to the thing you're really meant to be doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing that allowed me to answer the call to a friend in need,
Hmm.
the thing that allowed me to be really curious is that what started out as a 3 month break was an 18-month break. And I know not everybody can
Mm.
take a sabbatical for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But transitioning out of the military, luckily with the military and being eligible for retirement, there's a long off ramp. So I had a year to plan my departure, and I'd been thinking about it 2 years prior to that. And so I paid off all of my debt. I downsized my life to a 1 bedroom apartment because I was like, I didn't want to do anything. Like, I'm very capable, driven. I can do
Mm.
almost anything very, very well. I know how to
Hmm.
figure things out.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to do the thing. I wanted to be doing the work that was my purpose. And I
Mm.
had no idea what it was. But I knew without a doubt that I needed to rest.
Yes.
I knew that for sure. And I literally asked strangers because I was really excited about retiring. And I was like, what would you tell someone who's getting ready to retire? Like, what would your number one advice would be? And Kareem, when I tell you, and I am not exaggerating, every single person said, take time off.
Mm.
Even down to the cab driver in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Mm.
Take time off. And I kept asking people because then it became a game. Like someone's going to tell me
Right.
something different.
Right.
Every single person. every single person said take time off. And I said, I could be a slow learner sometimes or a little stubborn. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to take time off. Like it was the neon sign.
Mm-hmm.
And what initially was, the plan initially was to take 3 months off and became 4 months and then 6 months and then more time with family, time to travel,
Mm-hmm.
more yoga, more sleep. I ended up taking a year and a half off until I went to spend some time with my friend in Spain who was on maternity leave,
Yeah.
and creating that capacity to receive a new signal for something different.
Mm. Mm. That
It
part, right?
started in, yes, it was the rest period.
Yes.
It was the
Yes.
rest period.
And I think that's so
Indeed.
important. I think that's so important. And I realized when, I took a break from corporate and stepped away a few years ago, I didn't have anything else planned. Like I was at my limit and I was like, I just need to take a break. I was trying to figure out how to be a caretaker to my mom. And so I was like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I've done well enough for myself that I don't have to live in a scarcity mindset and I can take this break. Right. And I understand there's privilege in that, but I
Yes.
also understand that I've worked for that
Yes.
too. Right. And that if you get an opportunity to take a break, even if it's a forced one, because I know so many people in transition right now, and
Mm-hmm.
immediately the scarcity mindset or the uncertainty takes over, and they're creating an environment that's just as stressful as the one that they might have come from, instead of
Yes.
realizing, like, you know what? Yes, I need to figure out what's next. Yes, I need to, take care of myself, take care of my family, all the things, but we can't pour from empty cups. And so we have to find a way to incorporate rest regardless and take care of ourselves. But when we get these opportunities in life to just live for a little bit, right? Because otherwise, why do we call it making a living if we never do the living part, right? We
Yes.
can't save that for someday. Like I'm seeing
Right.
real life end of life regrets with my mother. There's things
Mm.
she's never going to be able to do in this lifetime that she never did. She never gave herself a chance to. And I'm like, oh, you mean that someday list might turn into a too late list?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
real. That's real.
It's very real. Very real.
That's real. And the part about the signal, that like you can't pick up the signal when you're just constantly in chaos, especially the one
Yes.
the one inside of you that's been trying to signal to you this whole time, as we're trying to figure out, like, what am I meant to do in this life? And there gets to be a point, regardless of what type of career you have, where the years behind you might be more than the years in front of you. And when that happens,
Yes.
you start wondering, like, what am I really doing? And that desire for meaning and that desire for purpose starts to become front and center.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. If I had received the signal to care for children and mothers, even in the 3 months after retirement, I would not have heard that. And if I'd heard it,
Mm,
I would have rejected it
mm,
completely. Completely. It was only after having this transformational experience, like literally a transformational experience with my friend, that I was able to say, okay, this, and it wasn't like this might be it. I was just curious. I'm like, I
mm.
really enjoyed this. Let me go out and find more experience like this to confirm what I'm experiencing this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, as you had that experience, there's the part that you do where you help, do you're a nanny and you're helping the mom and the baby and those things. But then somewhere along the line you realize, like, oh, there's this other whole part of recognizing, which many of us mothers know this is true, but we just kind of do it, that like managing your household is another full-time job. And we
Mm-hmm.
try to do everything ourselves, right? We try to be the career person, be the mom, be the wife, be the cook, be the cleaning lady, be the everything. Like we try to be everything, right?
Yes. Curate
And
experience, the holidays, the
yes,
household management, preparing for guests, cards to the mother, flowers to the. It's a lot. It's a
yeah.
lot.
and we wonder why we're tired and why we can't
Right.
find time to take care of ourselves. But like, even for me, even now, I have to like make an effort to allow help. I have to make it like it's been an unlearning. It's been
Hmm.
as a single mom my whole career. It it always felt like the whole world was on my like I'm holding the plates. If I let a plate go, like what's like there's nobody else to pick up a plate.
Hmm.
Even to the point where even when I did even have support at work, but my executive assistant was like, "You have to give me things to do. You don't need to do all of it, right?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, the thing we tell
It's like a
ourselves,
tug of
oh,
war. Give it to me.
it's
No,
just
I got
easier
it.
if
Give
I
it to
do it. It's
me.
just quicker
No,
if
I
I
got
do it.
it.
It's just easier if I do it. It's just quicker." But it's not, right? It's
Hmm.
the control lie we tell ourselves.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. So as how did you start kind of putting those puzzle pieces together and offering that type of support?
Yeah. So after I began supporting families, like a little bit here, a little bit there, because I was still like, yeah, I kind of like this semi retired thing. Um, Clients that I worked with for short assignments, like a 2 week assignment or a date night assignment, began to call me back.
Mm,
And I had a client who I became their date night sitter.
okay.
And they were like, well, do you have time during the week? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. This little date night thing is perfect for me. And then I just started working for them 4 days a week. So a couple days during the
Mm-hmm.
week and their date night sitter. And over time, I began to do additional things. So I'm the kind of person that, if the trash is full, take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the kind of person, if your 2 year old is in bed asleep and you're gone for 3 additional hours, I'm the kind of person that will say, okay, well, what else can I do to be helpful?
Mm,
And so I just began to take on these additional projects supporting the home. So whether it's cleaning the kitchen, whether it's folding laundry, um, I began to do that during date night. And then I was hired to support during the week and then support with, some additional things in the home. Well, long story short, I did that for 5.5 years for two families. And in my heart, I began to realize that the combination of this effort as serving as a third adult in the home
mm-hmm.
created some really magical moments for the parents to have time with
Mm,
one another,
mm-hmm.
the consistent date night as the CEOs of their home, um, reliable, accountable, safe care for their children. It just created this capacity that translated and created other opportunities for the family to experience and connect with one another. And it took me a while to see that. Because before I was like, oh, I'm just doing the laundry. Oh, I'm just emptying the dishwasher. Oh, I'm just driving an hour and a half picking up two kids in two different locations. And I began to realize it's the accumulation and the combined synergy of managing all of these things that's
Mm-hmm.
creating tremendous results, primarily ease and peace of mind for the parents.
Yeah.
And so, as I began to understand that impact, there was another signal. And the signal was now you have to share this with others.
Mm,
Now you have to share this with others. Because I kept thinking, well, what is it? Like, why do people just, saying these things to me? Like, why are people surrounding me at, 5 year old birthday parties and saying, oh, you're Miss Gail. I've heard about you. And it took me a while to figure it out. And once I began to understand what was happening, it was like, okay, now that you understand, now you have to share with others. More families need
mm,
to know this synergy.
yeah.
So,
Because
yeah,
those hours add up, right? Like we don't think about it when we're just going, doing. But when you're in a household, especially if even when you're partnered, you're like sometimes ships passing in the night because there's so many things to
exactly.
do that you don't have time for connection. And whether you're parents or not, or even if you're like there's things that we need to do for ourselves. that if we could just get a few hours back, if we could,
Yes.
those hours turn into
30
days,
minutes.
turn into weeks, turn
Yes.
into years of our life.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I get goosebumps when I talk about it or when I share it with other families. I'm like, okay, imagine, just imagine, you have the opportunity to get home before your kids get home. So you have an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to change your clothes, decompress, start dinner. Your kids come home. Someone is bringing them in the door, helping them with their book bags, helping them get, potty, hands washed. And then they come to the table and you get to engage about your day.
Yeah.
And while you're at the table, someone else is putting the food away, taking care of things in the home. They've already taken care of bath time. So pajamas, towels, all the things are set up.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to like fully be immersed and present at dinner with your
Yeah.
children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just that one exchange. Having someone on the front end and the back end supporting that one thing can make all the difference.
Especially now, like connection as humans is so important. And we've made life so busy. I don't even like to use the word busy anymore, but we've made life so busy, like this busy as a badge of honor, this feeling like if I'm not being productive, then I'm not worthy or I'm not successful or I'm not like, we don't prioritize time to just be. And so, especially as parents, like I realized I watched and learned that I could say whatever I wanted to my children, but they picked up on what I did more than what I said. Because they're
Oh,
both
for
adults
sure.
now. So I'm on the other side of it, right? So I
Yeah.
watch my adult children and I'm like, oh, work ethic is a good thing, but maybe you don't need that much, but I see where you get it from, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
maybe you should take a break. Maybe you should, go outside and take a walk, even now. And because the world is so full of technology, that we can be on 24/7 and not even realize it.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you were saying that, it made me think about COVID.
Hmm.
We got a lot of information from our children during COVID because our children
Yes.
were watching us work from home. And so when you see your toddler imitate you on the phone and they're holding the phone to their ear and they're saying, yeah, okay, yeah, they see and they mimic often what they see and what they hear, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily what you tell them or
Right.
how you direct them. So yeah.
Right. Right. So there's one thing that I've learned in life, and the older I get, the more I need it. And I know this is something that you feel very strongly about, and that's decluttering. I've
Yes.
learned as I've gotten older that like my outside kind of reflects my inside. So when things are all over the place, and to mind you, I was the person who like, especially like in college and early in my career, like I spread everything out all over the desk. I had to see it or I'd forget. Like I had too much going on. Like I had to be a mom and I had to work and I
Mm-hmm.
had to study. And so I had to like see it. And so I kind of built up this what I call organized chaos, right? But as I got
Right.
older and I started learning how to remove the chaos, how to remove the stress, clutter began to make me feel anxious. And then I
Mm-hmm.
realized, and now if I come home and I see stuff all over, I'm like, oh, what's going on, Corrine? We need to clear the outside so the inside could get clear, right? And I didn't realize
Yes.
what an impact on like my health and well-being just clearing space did. And like how clearing space allowed my mind to get clear and allowed more ideas in. So can we talk a little bit about this? Because I know
Absolutely.
you're passionate about this topic too.
Yes, please. I'm over here like, yes, my favorite topic. Yes, I love to declutter. I think I do have a little OCD, but it serves me well. Things like doors being closed, chairs being pushed in,
It might be
counters
a
being
little, it might be a
clear.
little bit of that military training too.
Well, I have been in the military since I was two. My dad was in the
Oh yeah,
army. He's an army veteran. So I
yeah.
grew up making my bed every day. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
you make up your bed every day. When you get out of it, you make your bed and putting things away. So yes, that add 20 years in the military, add being a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things have created this decluttering mindset about cleanliness and things being in order. So yes, I love talking about decluttering. And one of the things that I'm noticing um, as I help people get decluttered, it's not about the clutter, it's something else.
Mm,
There's always an undercurrent, whether it's having difficulty letting go of clothes because it represents a size you used to be,
mm,
whether it's messy papers because things got out of order during the loss of a loved one. Um, there's always something else, and that something else comes up even when the clutter is gone. And so,
mm,
clutter is a mask. It is a
mm.
mask for something else. So, it could be grief, it could be loss, it could be confusion. And when your spaces are in disarray, it is a signal that something is going on and it's not about the physical things.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
sometimes even for me, it's as simple as overwhelm. I've put too much stuff on my plate, and now I'm just kind of like, right? And so
Yeah,
then, what are the things that we usually let fall off? The things we need the most.
for
We'll like
sure.
take care of everyone else and serve up everyone else, and then we're like, oh, but all my stuff is neglected now.
Exactly. Yes, for
Yeah,
sure. And you can
yeah,
see it in busy households. And so I talk to clients about, okay, you're busy. All right. And as your life expands, I tell people as your life expands, so should your support. And when your life is too busy and you don't have good systems and support, it's going to reflect in your environment. It
yeah,
just will. And so
yeah.
sometimes your environment is signaling you're either doing too much, which a lot of people are, especially if you have children and parents you're caring for. And so it's a signal for what systems are not in place or have failed. And is it time for an extra set of hands? Because you cannot do it all. You
Yeah.
cannot do it all and be present for the life that you're living.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
also know a lot of, you know, busy career women who have built these lives for themselves, and they may not be mothers or wives yet or in partnership, right? And they're
Yep.
single and they're like, well, why would I call anybody to come? It's just me. And so they think they don't need the support or the care, or they shouldn't because it's just them, or society makes them feel like, well, you're the single person, you should be able to do this, or you shouldn't need any support.
Yes.
But I know that you have the model, like you probably need more care than you think, especially as a single person, right?
Yes. Well, when you think about it, a single person is taking care of all of the household obligations for one person. So when you're thinking about a household that has, children and a family, it's a volume issue. You have more things. But
Hmm.
at the same time, if you're going to cook for one, you can cook for four.
Hmm. Hmm.
If the laundry needs to be done, the laundry needs to be done. So even though you're one person, you still have to do all the things: the laundry, the dishes, buy the food, the supplies, um, change the linen. All the same duties exist. You just
Hmm.
don't have the volume. But the same duties exist, and they have to be taken care of by one person.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the life demands are still the same. And again, I tell people you don't have to be a celebrity to get help. You don't have to be a mother to get
Right.
help. You don't have
Right.
to have children and other people that you're responsible to say, hey, my life is expanded in this area in this way, whether it's my career, whether I want to get focused on dating because I want to meet my mate. I want to get
Hmm.
out there more. And so whatever it is, whether you're writing more, you're writing a book, you're starting a new side gig or entrepreneurship, whatever it is, as your life expands, so should your support.
Hmm.
And that goes for single people as well.
Yes. And I love how you mentioned like starting a new thing, right? As someone who is currently an entrepreneur, who made the decision to have two businesses, which everyone's like, why would you do that? It's like, because I want to. And who also is a writer and working on a book. I would say that entrepreneurship has been my greatest personal development tool, right? Like I could make excuses for myself when I was in my
Absolutely.
corporate career, and even being responsible for a whole company in a corporate capacity, it didn't make me realize how much I can't do it all on my own until you're the actual one person running the whole business in the household, right? Because in corporate, like, yes, I did a lot, but I also had a team. And so even if I didn't delegate well, I had people to delegate to. But when you're starting businesses in the beginning, it's you, and you have to figure out a way to do all the things and to be productive. Otherwise, you burn out really quickly.
Absolutely. You burn out. And here's something that came up for me when I was meditating today is that I am at my best when I'm in collaboration with others.
Hmm.
And I tend to be a lone ranger where I just dig in and I do it all myself. But when I do decide to connect, to collaborate, to network, which, our conversations began when you and I had our little coffee chat, and I'm
Yeah,
doing more of those. And I wish we had recorded that
it
conversation.
was such a good conversation.
It was so juicy. And so I'm learning that when I can let go of the things that don't require my genius,
Hmm.
and when I make room to be collaborative with others, really good stuff comes out of that may not have come forward on my own.
Mm.
And so it's pushing me to stop doing the things that other people would love to do for me.
Yeah,
Just stop doing that stuff.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, we forget. Like, there's some things that I don't ever want to do. I do not enjoy. I don't get an ounce of lick of any joy out of doing it. And there are things you feel like you have to do. But somewhere in the world, there's someone who actually likes doing those things that I don't like to do. Because there's many things I like to do that some of my friends are like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't like to do that, but it brings me joy. And
Yeah,
when you can like use the mindset of like, I'm robbing someone else of their joy and income for doing the thing I don't want to do anyway, that opens up space
exactly.
for me to do the thing that brings me joy and income.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
Is there anything we haven't covered yet that you think is really important for someone to think about or start to explore
Mhm.
as they're looking to live fully and live their best life and find the space that we've been talking about to be able to do these things that bring us more joy?
Yeah. Well, since we talked about that signal to share more, I would love to share with people that your home base, your home organization, your home base is the foundation for all the things that you're doing out in the world.
Mm, mhm,
And when your home is organized, it creates capacity.
mm,
And so part of the framework that I love sharing with people, it's about people, property, and processes. And when those three things are in order, it brings the heart, the ease, the curated experiences, the joy, the presence that our homes are meant to provide for us.
mm,
And so I often start with the property, the getting uncluttered, because once you get uncluttered, things are in order. You've kicked back the laundry, you've gotten rid of the
mm,
junk, all your clothes fit in your closet. Um, you're able to sit on chairs because they're not covered by junk. The counters are clear and you're
mm,
able to cook a meal. When the physical environment is clear, it creates opportunity to one, deal with the stuff underneath it. When there are processes in place to sustain the rhythms of the home, you begin to experience efficiency and ease and more connection and collaboration. And so decluttering is not just you know, does it bring you joy? It's,
Mm-hmm.
is it in the way of something else?
Mm.
Is it a
Mm.
signal for
Mm-hmm.
something that's happening, in your mind or even physically in your body? Is it getting
Yeah.
in the way of you enjoying your space?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the more I talk about decluttering, it's becoming less about the thing and more about what's underneath.
Mm. There's
What
a
is
few
the
things.
cluttering concealing? What is it
Yes.
hiding? Yeah.
There's a few things you said there that I really kind of sparked something in me. Um, one quick story. So I was at one of the many networking things I go to, and I won like a prize to have someone come and like do the closet thing, right? And
Ooh.
now the house I moved into already had all the fancy organization in the closet. And so
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I was like, I don't need this, but I want it, so I might as well do it. Like, and I'm telling myself, I don't need it. I already have like drawers and stuff built in my closet. And so, but it's like, you know what? Be open and curious and see. And I said, you know what? I'm doing a lot more speaking. I'm doing a lot more getting out and doing that. I said, let me set my closet up in a way that makes me inspired to like get dressed. I've worked from home since 2015. I have more yoga pants and sweatpants than anything, right? And I was like, maybe it's time to refresh the wardrobe, do a few
Yes.
things. And just the way it was to kind of have someone else come in and help me really think about what it means for my home to be my sanctuary and how I wanted my closet to function for me. Like to think about it beyond it just being, oh, that's where I store my clothes. But like, do you get inspired by your clothes when you walk in there? And just even rearranging how some things are so I can see and envision
Yes.
outfits change the energy. And I'm a big energy person. And I was like, this feels different now when I walk in the room. And so I think we forget that yes, there's ease and yes, there's clarity, but there's also an energy in your home that you might not be
Yes.
feeling when everything's kind of all over the place.
Absolutely. The arrangement of things and determining, is this in alignment with my vision? I'll ask people, I know you really love it. And I know you wore it when you went to Cabo for your 40th birthday, but is it still relevant to the thing that is on the horizon?
Mm-hmm.
And so asking those questions, really getting aligned to your values, designing your home so it's aligned with your values is another big piece of evaluating the clutter.
Mm.
Even down to, are the pictures on my wall serving me? Am I highlighting the people that are really important to me? If it's my grandmother who's had so much impact on my life, where is her picture? She needs
Mm.
to be honored in this space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so curating your spaces to serve you from a values perspective is also a big part of decluttering and organizing the space to serve your present day life.
Mm. That's good. That's good. I love this because these are all tools that we don't necessarily think about to life better, right? Because that's what we're all really trying to do every day is like figure out how do we life better? How can I
Yes.
set up my life in a way that I have more joy and that I can show up to it and that I'm not constantly fighting for a someday version of it, but like a 2 day version of it? Like, how do we eliminate those
Yes.
end of life regrets now and the actions that
Yes.
we take and the ways we set up our homes and the time we create for each other by using these
Yes.
tools?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I have some questions to ask because I want people to be able to get to know you a little bit better. And I
Okay.
really love just kind of seeing all the
Okay.
different ways people answer these fun
Okay.
questions. Okay, so the first one is, what small luxury do you never feel guilty about enjoying?
Okay. I don't know if you consider sleep a luxury. It shouldn't be. It just should be a
Well, it's
normal thing.
essential, but there is such
It's
thing as
essential.
luxurious sleep.
Okay. For me, sleep is my luxury, and I don't ever feel guilty about it. Like I will leave
Mm,
a party, I will decline,
mm.
I will decline dinner that starts at 9:30. Like I just can't do it.
Girl.
So for me, and I don't feel guilty. Like people know, like yeah, if it's after 8, Gail's not going. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're gonna have to do the early dinner. Um, but I do all the things. I have the essential oils, the sound
Mm-hmm.
machine. I put on
Mm-hmm.
my orange glasses at night before bed. I have the sleep mask, the dark shades, the weighted blanket. Like sleep is
Yes. I'm right
yes.
there with you. Like, well, for the first half of my life, I didn't get much of it. And once I did, I realized like I'm not giving this up
No,
at
yes.
all. So many people ask me because everyone knows I do improv. So many people ask me, do you do stand up? And I say, I write it, but stand up is a late night thing. Like, I'm not going to open mics and not sleeping. I just can't
Mhm.
do it. Like, I love comedy, but I love
Yeah,
sleep more. You know?
exactly.
Yes.
Yes. The
Oh,
only
I
thing I
love that.
haven't done, which I mentioned to you before, is I haven't done the mouth tape.
Oh, I do that. I've mouth taped for 5 years.
So that's
And
the only thing I haven't integrated into my sleep routine that
mhm.
I'm excited to try.
Yes, try it and let's talk about it. I had a
Okay.
sleep expert on a previous episode, and we talked about that as well. It really
Yes.
did change the quality of my sleep.
Okay. I'm curious
Yes,
about that. Yes.
yes. So, what's your favorite way to spend an unexpected free hour?
An unexpected free hour. Presently right now, I want to be a voracious reader.
Mm,
And so when I have some unexpected time, I have books all around. So reading, I can't read at night because I get sleepy, I fall asleep, it just doesn't work for me. So when I get
mhm.
unexpected time, I'm like, it's time to read.
Yes. That's why we connect so well. I own more books than anything else. Like
Me
it's
too.
it when people are like, "Oh, do you want to get rid of some of those books?" I'm like, "Absolutely not."
No, I'm
Like,
gonna read
no.
that.
One day that is my
No.
someday list that will always be my someday list. I have some books that someday I'll get to, but I'm not going to get rid of them. That's my
Right.
little secret
That's my list.
secret
Yes.
luxury. Yes, yes. So as you've been in this, pivot, this second act, so to speak, in this
Hmm.
stage of life as you're learning to be an entrepreneur, what's something you started saying yes to more often that's made your life better?
I started saying yes to help. So I hired a VA, and I am better at asking people for what I need from them.
Mm,
Because before I'd be like, oh, I'll just do it. Like I
right.
would
Even though
second
your
guess about
whole
asking for
world
things.
right now revolves around
I
helping others,
know.
it's so hard for us to do it ourselves,
Well,
right?
I have been convicted, and that's like, well, how does Life Doula use her model for herself? And I was
Mm,
like, I need to practice that more. And so
mm-hmm,
now I'll ask people, I'm like, hey, I need this from you, and I need it in this way. Can you?
mm,
And oftentimes it's yes.
mm-hmm,
And so
mm-hmm.
now it's like, I need this from you.
Yeah,
I would really love it if,
yeah,
can I ask you to do something for me? Do you have the
yeah.
capacity to? Yes. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I mean, I'm the same way. I have a I can help you get the help you need, but me asking for help is always kind of the last thing on my list. But I love
So
that you
I'm
said
saying yes to
yes,
asking for help.
that you're using your voice more in that capacity. And I mean, I do a lot of helping people find their voice and all the way from thought leadership to TEDx stages. But the one thing that I think is the most powerful is when they learn how to use it to advocate for themselves and ask for what they need
Yes.
in all areas of
Yes.
life, right?
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
important. It's so
It
important.
is indeed.
Okay, here's a fun one. If your life had a soundtrack, what would the title track be right now?
Well, right now, in this present moment, it would be Mariah Carey's "Make It Happen."
Oh, yes.
I know. Yes, that is my soundtrack. Just keep going, make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All I
I
hear is
break out into song. I know.
the high note
I
in my
won't do
head
it for you.
that I can't
I
ever get
know.
to.
It's in my head and I want to say it, but I don't want to do it.
We can all imagine it in our brains right
Not
now.
more than 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
one.
now. Now I'm gonna have to go pull out some old music after this. Awesome. Okay, final question.
Okay.
How do you remember to live?
Ooh. Breathing,
Mm.
meditating, and breathing. I have recommitted to that and it has made such a huge difference. Primarily because it just allows me to reconnect to myself and reconnect to the God in me,
Mm.
my higher purpose, and what I'm here to do. And so I am reminded every day that I'm here to serve others, and I can't do it unless I'm in good shape.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's harder to do it unless I'm in good shape.
That part,
And so
yeah.
you say it all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the way I've been able to serve people so well is because I take good care of myself.
Mm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Like, I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of boundaries around my health, my body, my physical space, my mind, that I can serve with gusto, like with
Oh.
all of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's creating these experiences because I have nothing to hold back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I remember when I make time for myself, like when I first wake up, I am thankful, I am grateful to be alive and awake.
Mm-hmm.
And I pause to get centered. And that is how I remember.
Mm. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Gail, this has been such a great conversation. Tell everyone
Yes.
how they can find you.
Yeah. So my life doula, that's how you can find me. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn. My website is mylifedoula.com. So that's my handle, my life doula. So you can find me on TikTok, but I mostly play on Instagram and then on LinkedIn. Those are my two primary sites. That's where you can
Awesome.
find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, friend.
Thank you, Kareem.